All right, guys, in this episode, we are going to talk about how to develop your staff, what you should be thinking about as an affiliate owner long term with regard to staff development and manning inside of your affiliate, because every affiliate owner is going to have to go through this where you're going to have some turnover of coaches. Nobody stays forever. We all break up eventually. And I've seen time and time again where somebody kind of gets caught blindsided where they have 2 to 3 good coaches that walk out the door for unknown reasons in some of those scenarios. So we're going to talk all about that in this episode. And if you want to know more about things that we do, you can go back and watch a previous episode where we help a gym owner walk through how they're looking at their lead flow and their pricing structure as well. And that's linked right here as well. Real quick, Martha, give everybody a quick intro. Who are you and where's your box?
So I'm Martha Redinger, and I own a gym with my husband in CrossFit in Charlottesville, CrossFit SPRC, which is actually Sports Performance and Rowing Center. That's what the
Do you have a rowing
SPRC.
background?
My husband does.
Okay.
I wanted him to feel included, but he has
I
his L2
appreciate
now.
that.
So.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, very cool. That's awesome.
But yeah, so he coaches rowing and he's rowed internationally. He still does.
Okay.
He was second in the world and
In the
years
world?
ago. Yep.
What real quick and then we'll come back to this.
Okay.
What is second in the world? What do you have to do to become second in
He
the world?
rows in masters events like I do in
Like in the
CrossFit.
crash bees, like stuff like that?
Crash bees.
Crash bees?
No.
Have you done crash bees?
No.
So they do like these big rowing
These are masters
tournaments or whatever.
events that are, he was in Berlin last summer,
What distances do they row?
2K.
2K?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just like the crash bees. Maybe
I
he row in
know he
college?
has his goals. No,
Yeah.
he did not.
Oh, really?
Post-college, he
Okay.
started, but he's well connected with Olympians
Very
and
cool.
others. He comes up to the head of the Charles and things like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So what problem are we solving today? What is the thing you're struggling with and how can we help you?
So one of the problems is, and this is something is more immediate, that I've lost
Mhm.
3 coaches.
Okay.
Well, really 4 in the within a year.
Okay.
That were great, and they all left for either work, military, and one of them passed away from cancer last month.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And he was like central, like
Mhm.
all these guys were great.
Yeah.
But it's just the timing of it is
Mhm.
off.
Yeah.
So our gym is in mourning, really.
Hmm.
We're still kind of in recovery. His wife is a yoga instructor and
Okay.
also coaches yoga in our gym, and she hasn't been back.
Yeah.
So there's that, it was painful to write a newsletter that month,
Yeah.
for example. We just
Yeah.
didn't, that kind, just, it
Yeah, it didn't feel right.
hurt everybody. So yes, and it's hurting because now we're down coaches and
Yeah.
hard to find. And they were great coaches, and all my coaches have their L2. They're
Okay.
really great, and people stay when they join our gym. It's
Okay.
just, I'm a little bit frustrated now what I'm going to do with
Yeah.
loss of these guys. So
Okay. How many? So you lost 4. How many would you normally carry on your coaching roster?
okay, about 10 or 11, and they all have other jobs.
Sure.
But 2 of them have internal jobs with us.
Okay.
One, Frank, who we lost, was kind of cared for the entire space,
Got it.
cleaning, fixing
He was your
things.
gym handyman.
He did everything. He's retired military, knew how to fix everything. He had his hand on everything.
Every gym needs one of those.
Yeah, he was,
Yeah.
and he was also the best greeter. He was always at the front of the door saying, "Are you going to join?"
That's
He was
amazing.
a lot of fun. And then the other one, she manages kind of the HR stuff. She schedules people,
Okay.
or gets things done, and she's also very good at social media. So,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
So how much do you coach? Or how much, let me,
don't-
two-part question.
Yeah.
How much were you coaching before you lost these coaches?
Mhm.
And how much are you coaching now? Okay, so one of the things that Martha is dealing with is something that we all have to contend with. And this is this understanding that if we are thinking about this in a long enough time horizon, are in the business of developing coaches. Like, it is the first key man risk that you're going to have to solve inside of your affiliate is you're going to have to get off of the floor, and then you're going to have to replace yourself and make sure that the gap between your skill set and their skill set is not this enormous gorge between those two, because that is going to result in a retention problem long term. So everybody's going to have to solve this problem. I don't care who you are.
Well, it's the worst starts this next month,
Okay.
literally.
Okay.
So I think I'll just be adding, I actually don't know how many, I've never counted them, but let's say I do the run club on
Okay.
Wednesday, plus probably 6 classes.
A day
No,
or a week.
a
A
week.
week.
Yeah,
Okay. So you're
hour.
coaching,
It's
call it,
not terrible.
right. So
Right.
let's say 25 to 30
Yeah.
a month.
Yeah.
Sustainable, but probably a little bit more. Do you have any idea like what's your total class load? How many classes do you do per week?
How many
Yeah,
do we
at the
offer?
gym. Yeah, sorry, at the gym.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 a day, let's call it for
For 5.
days. Yeah, 5 days. And we also are open Sunday and Saturday.
Okay, so you do so Monday through Friday you do
1, 2,
times 6, and then Saturday,
Yeah.
Sunday, how many do you do?
1 on each, and plus yoga Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Okay, so we'll call it
So, yeah,
another 4.
it's a busy gym.
Okay, so we'll call it 4. So
Yeah.
we'll call it
It's not-
30. Yeah, this is pretty
Yeah,
average, right?
it's
So
average.
yeah,
but-
so meaning the average is about 35. If I look at most gyms, it's about 35 a week. Okay.
Okay.
So, and what that will, if we do 35 times 4, just like there's a little bit more than 4 weeks and
For the
everything,
month.
but
Yeah.
what it will kind of round out to is like roughly 130 classes. If this is a week, then this is what it comes out to per month. Now, the first kind of target that we like to look at for box owner is what is the percentage of classes that you are coaching on a monthly basis. Okay. And what we want to get people down to is 15% or less. Okay. So I wanted to talk real quick about the 15% number and a couple of different components that we look at with regard to gym owners and where they're spending their time inside of the affiliate. So there's a level system inside of affiliate university. In order to be a level 3 affiliate university box owner, one of the things that you have to achieve is you need to be coaching less than 15% of the overall class load. Now, the reason for that is if you're the owner, if you're the lead in the affiliate, if you are coaching more than 15% of the overall classes for the month, you are one weird scenario away from coaching 50% of the overall volume in the gym. And when that happens, and inevitably it will happen, you are going to lose a tremendous amount of time and resources working kind of on the things that actually drive the business in order to have to go back onto the floor and solve that problem. So again, we want to see them less than 15%. If you can go to 0, great, but that's different than you wanting to coach classes. So if you want to coach classes, that's fine, but we want to get you to the point where you don't have to coach the classes. So I don't know what the math on that is. We can do it real quick, but I think it looks, first is like, you got to have a target, right? Because then we can figure out what you are coaching and then figure out what we need to backtrack. Let's just say that's 130. So that'd be 20 classes, right? So you're
Okay.
roughly at 30,
Yeah.
right? So we want to go from 30 classes
So 20.
down to 20, right? And this is not the end state, but this is usually the first target. Now, why is that the first target? When we look at gyms who are coaching more than 15%, or gym owners that are coaching more than 15%, what we find repeatedly is they are a huge cog in the fulfillment wheel. Meaning they're a major part of fulfillment, and it requires more time of them, and it takes away time from other things,
Other
such as
things,
building
yeah.
the team. So
Yeah.
15%, and we want to get you to here. So now we've quantified, hey, we want to get 10 classes off of your plate. Let's swag it, call it 2 a week. So now it's
Yeah.
8, right? But we would get from 30 to 22, and we're very, very close to this
Yeah.
point. So I always like to quantify things because particularly I've been in that scenario where I've had to take on,
A bunch.
a bunch of classes, and I've seen it in many instances. And first thing we want to do is quantify it, because we have to figure out like how big is the gap, and then because the gap is going to determine how hard that is going to be for me to fill. And if we're only looking at 2
Yeah.
across those 4 weeks, probably not terribly difficult
Yeah.
for you to solve. Okay. Now, is it going to be super easy? Maybe, maybe not. But then how do we start to look at that? So the first and foremost, I tell every gym owner this ever, you want to be, if you're one coach away from being back on the floor, you're essentially back on the floor. If you're 2 coaches away from being back on the floor, you're kind of safe, but you're not really safe until you're 3 coaches away from being back on the floor, meaning 3 people would have to leave before this becomes very problematic for me.
Right.
So in this scenario, you were probably something like 4, and here we are.
Yeah.
Okay. But just as a basic premise, if you're 1, that's the same as being on the floor, because that person is going to leave at some point.
Yeah.
It's inevitable.
Right.
Okay. So when you're thinking about building a coaching team, we always want to think about always building the bench constantly, forever, until the end of time. I tell people, I'm like, if you do not have somebody in the development pipeline, get somebody in there. if you're like, I don't need anybody, I'm like, you will
Yeah.
inevitably. So
Yes.
put somebody in there and just start working on 'em. So that's kind of, we don't have a ton of control of that right now, but what we do have control of is how do we start to frame our coaching framework. So if we just use, give me a couple of things in here that are really important with regard to how you guys build a coaching staff. It could be literally anything you want. It could be like, hey, we want them to have great personalities. We want them to be, I'm just making stuff up. They got to be timely. They got to know how to teach the snatch. Like, just give me a couple of things. You're like, these are the 3 to 5 things that are most important to us for somebody to be a coach.
Most important is I would like we have a really great community. People are very comfortable with
Okay.
everyone and they are very loving towards one another.
Okay.
It's that kind of gym.
Okay.
And I would say a broad age range.
Okay.
But I would say now we're having lost 4 guys. I would like to have we now have more females, and
Okay.
you know, I like the
Good balance. Yeah, we're the opposite where I would like a couple more females. Right? Okay. So we'll take the first thing is like you just want everybody, you want everybody like overall welcoming.
That's
Okay. So
and really, you know, straightforward, you know, people that you can get along
I'm going to put
with.
that at the base of the pyramid because it's the
Okay.
first thing that you said, which means it's probably important to you.
Mhm.
So if we think about the 6 criteria for developing a coach that we would use in level 2,
Mhm.
what I would put here is presence and attitude.
Mhm.
Because you know said you
Yeah,
guys we're big
fair
on
enough.
community, right?
Yeah.
So we would want this to be paramount
Yeah.
to us building a team.
Yeah.
And I think this is actually where most gyms should start,
Mhm.
which is like, hey, let's make sure that they're good people first.
Yeah.
They smile,
Right.
they're kind, they know how to like
Exactly.
grab the person that looks lost and bring them into the gym.
Right.
So we start there. Then after that, then what else would we want them to be?
Skill.
Okay. So let's talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah.
When you say skill, what are you referring to?
I want them to be able to, well, skill in coaching, in
Mhm.
other words, good communicators as well as good movers,
Okay.
so that they can show, you know, well, what
Okay.
should be happening
So
at CrossFit.
I like to bring everything back to stuff that we all already know. So
L2.
from the L2 and the
Yeah.
L1. So if we're going to go there, you said good communicators
Yeah.
and the skill. I would based on that, I would put teaching here.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I want good teachers. Max and I were talking about it on a podcast before this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
at least on our team in Best Hour, I look for teachers, people that have a previous professional
Yeah.
career in teaching.
Yeah.
Because if they have good presence and attitude and they're good communicators,
Yeah.
now we can get to the last thing, which is now I'm going to get to the, you know, the C and correct. And I put that at the top because it usually comes last anyway.
It takes the longest
It takes a
to
lot.
develop.
You need the
Yeah.
most reps on
Mhm.
it. So
Yeah.
as you go back and you start building your coaching staff, I love visuals because they're always a quick reminder and it's a way for me to communicate an immense amount of information very quickly. This also for you specifically at your gym, this communicates what's the base, what's the core skill set that you want
Mm-hmm.
for people on your team. And this says a lot, which is
Yeah.
like, hey, the most important thing to us is like, listen, you could maybe not be great at sitting and correcting,
Correct.
but listen,
Yeah.
this is what we're looking for.
Exactly. Yep.
And we build the pyramid like that. So this isn't necessarily going to solve your coaching problem immediately, but what this does is this does set you up for the future as you start bringing on new coaching staff.
Mhm.
You can start to communicate this message to them from day one. You print it out, put it in the office, maybe you put it into the gym, be like, hey, this is how we build our coaches. The other cool thing about this is this really communicates to your community. So you've already told me that you care a lot about like what it is that you value, what it is that you value, and what it is that you're trying to deliver to them, which is like, hey, we want this to be the best hour of your day.
Right.
We're gonna have people that
That's
communicate
in our
well.
T-shirt.
Right there, it's trademark or
Yeah,
just kidding.
exactly.
And then at the end, we're gonna get to the technical components of that, which is where a lot of the magic happens. But take that, it's yours. But I do think that stuff like that is really important because you're going to want to communicate this over and over and
again.
over
Yep.
and over and over for the new person that comes in. They don't really get it like,
Exactly.
hey, go back to this. Remember,
Yeah.
don't worry so much about teaching the snatch. Make sure they're having a good
Yeah.
time. And I can refer back to the pyramid
Right.
and it just reinforces itself
Yeah.
over and over and over again.
And when I hire a coach, I talk about it's loyalty to the team,
Yeah.
because I don't want somebody to come and then kind of create differences or you know,
Yeah.
on the
If you're that
survey
culture fit.
recently, last time we did a survey, I did not ask the question of, you know, do you want to say something good about a particular
Right.
coach, or do you have, I didn't want to go there.
Right.
And my present gym manager, she went ahead and put it on there without asking me.
Yeah.
I have a lot of type ones in my gym, and I am very not type one actually, so I don't mind
Yeah.
them pushing me around a little
Yeah.
bit, but she snuck it in there.
Yeah.
And I actually didn't like that because there isn't a difference. We're all a team.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody has a skill set. I have a gymnastics background coach. I have a doctor coach. I have a games athlete coach. I have, so I have this range,
Mm-hmm.
which makes it really special.
Well,
As
what it does is
opposed to
it's the same thing we have on our
who's the
team.
best coach.
Right.
Yeah.
They're all really, really good, but everybody has their superpower.
Yep.
And that's what you want. Be like, hey, they're all fantastic, but if I want really good gymnastics coach, I'm going to go
Yeah.
to Jenny or whoever it's
Yeah.
going to be. And I think that's ideal,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't want them to be exact, copies of each other. I want them to all be really, really good at the thing, and then I want them to all be exceptional at like one
Yes.
core component
That's
of that
fantastic
overarching
when that
thing.
happens.
So,
Yeah.
but I think this is a
Yeah,
great
that-
framework for the future and kind of like restructuring. And you've been open for 5+ years, so I think this is a good thing that you can reinforce with the staff. And I think you can even refine this. Like this is just a baseline template for that.
Yeah.
But if you're going to build culture and build that team, it's got to be built on ideas like this.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to say it over and over and over again before it actually sticks.
Mm-hmm.
And most people never think to just write some of these things down. So
Yeah.
who are we? What are we about? How do we build our coaching staff? We're like, go back
Yeah.
to the triangle.
Yep.
So
It reminds the coaches who are there,
right.
What we're about to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if somebody's struggling, they're like, I didn't run a great class. I'm like, did everybody have fun?
Yeah.
I'm like, cool. Then it was a great class. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Uh-huh.
So, does that help?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Anything
Yeah.
else I can help you with today?
Just, how do you find coaches?
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Striking a chord.
And,
So it actually,
do you recruit from other
oh,
parts of town?
I'm gonna try to not go on a rant here, but here I will tell you this. I'll tell you this. I was having this conversation the other day.
I know about in-house, by the way. I know
Yeah, well,
everybody
for sure.
brings
Yeah,
in-house.
yeah. But the I think there's a conversation we had there about like, is it better to develop them internally or hire from outside? And I think most people would say, hey, it's better to develop them in-house.
Mm-hmm.
I actually disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Not to the point where I think it's better to hire outside. I don't think it matters.
Mm.
I think we're dancing around the idea of what is your process for making a great coach?
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't matter whether they're internal or they're external.
Right.
Right. Everybody says it's better or easier to do internal. Well, of course it is. They're standing in front of you.
Yeah, and you know them.
You know them. I'm like, well, we can bypass a handful of things and about like, are they a good person? Like I can already know those things because they've been here for 5 years.
Yes.
So it's not necessarily easier. They're just readily available.
Yeah.
But you're still going to have to develop them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so it's all about the process. Like, how do I make somebody a great coach? So whether they're internal or external, it doesn't matter. They don't necessarily need to be internal to be a great coach.
Mm-hmm.
I've hired great coaches from outside.
Mm-hmm.
It's the culture in the gym is not so unique that somebody can't figure it out really quickly.
Right.
Right.
And you have to probably have a good eye to find that person outside or inside anyway.
Anyway, right? It doesn't matter, but it's not like you guys do wall balls unique in your gym where I can't figure it out, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you guys don't use barbells here? Like that's the, and it doesn't, and I also don't think that they have to have been a member at your gym.
Yeah.
And I was making the joke the other day. I was like, Chick-fil-A is one of the largest, fast casual restaurants in the world, and they are renowned for training.
Okay.
In what they do. The average franchise operator will make something to the tune of 400 hires annually in that singular location.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they're going and looking at all the people buying chicken sandwiches. It doesn't matter to them. They're like, okay, maybe that person buys chicken sandwiches,
Right.
maybe they don't, but like we know how to train people.
Yeah.
It is irrelevant to us where they come from.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think you close off a good segment of people who are not members, who might be available to you
Right.
to come in if you're only looking internally.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it should be, who's the best candidate? And do I have a process to take them from being okay to great?
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have that, well, then start there because you're going to have to make it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've got somebody who's ready to go in the pipe, I'm like, great, start with that one. Like low hanging fruit is always ideal. Do that all day and every day. But outside of that, go back to the question is like, hey, if I had a stranger walk in here and say that they wanted to coach,
Oh yeah.
do I have a means of vetting them and developing them in, a reasonable amount of time? And the longer you do it, you'll be able to compress the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
It won't take you a year. It'll take you 6 months, and it might take you 3 months, where you
Yeah.
can take somebody from literally nothing,
Mhm.
like they don't even have their level 1, to pretty dangerous
Uh-huh.
in 90 days if you get really good at it.
I think your earlier point is really important too, because I've been so lucky with what I've had from the start. When we opened, it just grew the right way, and
Hmm.
people came to town from the military and
Hmm.
said, you know,
I'm in Virginia Beach. We have the same thing. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's awesome when that happens.
Yeah.
And then we've just had the best group.
Hmm.
And then suddenly, boom, we're,
Yeah.
you know, like, so
Yeah.
I was cruising and
Yeah.
I wasn't developing.
That's
like
okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's just at some point you
But
have
you're
to.
right, people are going to move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my saying. We all
We
break
don't
up.
want to face it.
We all break up eventually. Yeah. They're like, no, they're never going to leave. I'm like, one day they're going to
One
leave.
family
Yeah.
forever.
Right. And I think I'm never going to discount luck, but a
Mhm.
lot of times we find ourselves in scenarios where like we're lucky that we have these good people.
Yeah.
But lucky's not a plan.
Yeah.
You know, I want to stack planning and
Mhm.
preparation with a little bit of luck.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and so we want to shift away from that. And as you run the business longer and longer, you're going to want to look at those more sustainable
Mhm.
options, which is, hey, it doesn't matter who we put in the pipeline,
Mhm.
right? That will take care of itself,
Mhm.
because it's all, again, based on, hey, what do we design?
Yeah.
What's important to us? First, we get clarity on that, and then we figure out, okay, what are the skill sets that we need to develop? That, you know, we go from soft skills to more hard skills as we move up with regard to, like, what's your technical knowledge on?
Mhm.
Do you know the progressions?
Mhm.
Right? Do you understand the points of performance and the faults, all that kind of stuff? Those are must-haves. They're useless if you don't have this.
Mhm. Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
We've all had a coach who was very technically proficient, who ran a class that nobody wants to be in.
Uh-huh.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, like, this sucks, you know?
Yeah.
And on the flip side, I've been in classes that were out of this world fun, where I know for a fact that coach doesn't know
You said
anything about
things
fitness.
backwards.
Yeah, I'm
Little
like,
bit.
that's not you.
Yeah.
You're using words that make no sense right
Yeah.
now. And I'm like, but hey, listen, we're all having a good time and we're getting fit.
Yeah.
So I think figure out what that pipeline looks like, and I don't think you worry about like whether they're internally or externally. I think focus on like what's the process to make a great coach. At that point, they're not cheap anymore. So.
It would be interesting to find out if CrossFit.com would be helpful in moving coaches.
I mean, maybe you have to. I have all sorts of thoughts on that.
Because people move and,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I mean, there is the directory, but I don't know how up to date or live it is.
yeah, I would
So,
know. But I mean, literally an effort in that direction.
yeah, I think that's a bigger challenge to solve than people think. It's
Okay.
Logistically, I think it's
Okay.
very challenging. But I have thoughts on how it could be done, but there's a lot of things that need to happen between now and then. So, how do you feel about that?
Good.
Cool.
Great. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, if you need anything else, obviously,
All right.
we're happy to help.
Thank
But
you.
I hope that is helpful to you, and I hope it's helpful to you guys. If you guys have questions, hit us up. We'd be happy to help.
CrossFitters, I've purchased hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment in my life. I've been doing CrossFit since 2007. I've owned 4 affiliates. I currently own an affiliate in my basement. And let me tell you this, Rep Fitness is by far my favorite equipment. First of all, it's amazing quality. The price is right. And what I love is I talk to somebody that I know, that knows me, and that understands my needs. Now, cool thing is, as a family member of Best Hour, you can save big over at Rep Fitness. Go to repfitness.com/best hour and save on your next equipment purchase.
Thanks for checking out this episode of the Best Hour of Their Day podcast. We appreciate you listening and choosing to have us help you in your passion for coaching and affiliate ownership. You can find more episodes just like this on all podcast platforms. If you're interested in learning more, you can reach out to us on any social media platforms, or you can visit www.besthouroftheirday.com to book a call. If you found this episode helpful for you, please share it so that we can help other coaches and affiliate owners to help build a bigger and stronger CrossFit community. Thanks for listening.